How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I'm Tim Wagner.
Oh, I almost ran out of breath on that one. I didn't take my breath right.
I've done it before where you're just like mid-sentence and then you got to take a breath halfway through your sentence. And then you almost feel like explaining to whoever you're talking to, just like, well, that was weird, right? I can't believe I forgot to breathe before I started talking. And then what? I don't know. I get myself into those weird conversations a lot because I feel like explaining myself instead of just like
letting it go. I know. That's why I had to say something too. In case anybody's listening and like kind of heard my voice fade out at the end, like it wasn't quite where it normally is because I kind of stretched it a little bit and it didn't work.
Oh, for sure. I'll do that. I won't give up. I'll get to the end of the sentence just like, and then we got to get to the... And it's just like, what the hell was that? I'm just like, I ran out of air, dude. I don't know.
I ran out of air.
Started talking at half breath in, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really assess the situation. All I know is when I got to the end of the sentence, there was nothing left.
I had to push.
I do like rapping, doing that. Like I'm rapping along with something. And I get to the end, like a lot of times, there's nobody else around. So I just take a breath in the middle.
Yep.
But I'm just like, damn, dude, I wasn't even close to finishing.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
I was like three lines.
Oh, I just did that the other day. I can picture exactly where I was. I was going up the off ramp off the highway on my way to work. And I was just like, all right, no cars around. And I'm just rapping away. And I nailed the first verse or the first line,
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking totally into this song. I told you I still knew this song.
Yeah.
And then I got to the next one. I got to the next line and I had to take a half breath midway through. And I went, man, I fucking, okay, I know this song, but I don't know where to breathe anymore in it.
I know, just like,
because that's part of it. You can start to catch where the breaths are and you can actually rap along if you do that.
Right.
But like when you're driving and you're just ripping through the lyrics in your head and flowing with the song, all of a sudden I just lost track of where I was.
I know you just
and then finish it.
Just get you
2 words late.
I like how you threw in too, like there's no cars around. I do that a lot too. I'm just like driving, just like going and stuff, and then I like look in the mirror and I see a car's coming, and I'm like, 2 more lines. Driving.
Right. Yep. I'm just driving.
Car passes. No.
Yep. Yep.
Like, I just don't want you to slow down and then like take out your phone and record me.
Yeah.
And just like, look at this delivery driver getting into it. Just like act like you don't get into it. What?
Right.
You don't rap,
right,
or sing or whatever you're into.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I always end up doing it. Like I always end up seeing too many people I know driving. So like I'll be cruising down the highway and then I'll pass somebody and I went, oh fuck, I know them. I wonder how long I've been following them. Wonder if they even noticed. Like, were they in the rearview mirror? And I was just like,
right. That would change my whole thing though. If I knew them, I'd just be pointing at them, acting like they can hear the same song. You know it. Sing along.
You know it.
Come on, hit the hook. Hey. Oh man.
All right. Let's jump in here. Let's do it. Ooh, it's time for the fishing news. Did you forget about the sound effects, Tim?
Yeah.
They're still new.
That one sounded like it. Like when you don't know what's coming, it almost sounds like somebody's squeaking together, like a fun noodle, like on another fun noodle, like. And I was like, "What is squeaking?" Like it caught me off guard, like it wasn't in the headphones. I was just like, "Whoa, what did I touch?"
You just got this fun noodle on your feet right now, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was going to squeak on this floor."
I got some foam on foam action. What could it be?
Okay, here is the fishing news for this week. Which, by the way, those cheaters. Let's just kick this off quick with this. You know those cheaters from the walleye thing?
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
got sentenced and stuff in court. It was kind of uneventful and
Yeah.
lame. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
process it one day. I just don't want to do that right now because it gets real negative, and we get negative about it because we have our strong feelings about those cheating fucks.
Yeah, we hate those bitches.
So let's I got a nice upbeat, fun, cool note.
Whoa.
16-year-old making baits,
Yes.
making moves.
Making baits.
That's my
I like
headline.
it.
It came from Outdoor News. You know, we
Yep.
give them props to Outdoor News over here all the time.
Outdoor
That
News.
place is great. So,
Yep.
two things about this one. There's going to be double links over in YouTube. So if you're listening to this on podcast, go over to the YouTube video. I'm going to have two links for this news. One goes to the Outdoor News article, and then the other one is going to go to the baits, the baits that we're about to talk about. So, Breslin Rainier, running a soft plastics company called Breezy Bombers out of Quincy, Ohio, is getting some recognition. This is pretty cool. She started making these things when she was 12. She just started making these soft baits, these soft plastic baits, when she was 12 for her dad's friends and stuff like that. And then she started selling them on Facebook and Instagram. But now she's got a website going, Breezy Bombers. That will be the other link that I'll throw in there. And she's selling them, and she keeps making moves, and she keeps wanting to grow this. The coolest thing is it all started at the 2021 National Fishing Expo in Columbus, Ohio. So Quincy must not be far from Columbus. I didn't look. But
yeah, I don't know.
Basically, she figured out that the National Fishing Expo was coming to Columbus. And she's just like,
okay,
we're going. We're bringing my baits, and we're going.
Yeah.
So they bring her, like her,
I like that
her
she's
parents.
the one that's just like, we're doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay.
She's just like, we're bringing them. They didn't have a
Yeah.
booth. They didn't have anything other than she had a bag of them, is what it said, basically. She goes to Columbus, Ohio, and she gives them to, now this is where I'll ask you, Tim, is Brian Latimer.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that name?
Yeah, he's like, I think he's sponsored by 13 Fishing. I think
okay.
He was the one that showed me a lot of the baits, like when I was doing the research on last year's iCast episode that we did.
Oh.
Like I watched a lot of his videos where he was talking about a lot of the new 13 Fishing lures and stuff.
Right on.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I for sure know him.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a big name. I didn't pick up on the name. So I was just like, someone who's been in the game longer than me, I bet you recognize this, because she knew. Yeah, I'm sure people out there listening know. So that's great. I'm just straight up being honest. That's my lack of the sport part of it, right? Like,
hey, not everybody's gonna. I don't know all the fishermen.
Oh, for sure.
That's just one of the. There's, that's one of the guys I happen to know.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few names you could have said that I wouldn't be able to recall.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. So she went to this.
Skin off anybody's back.
Okay. Thanks. Because I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. So she goes in 2021. She goes, just hands him a bag, right?
Yeah.
He was like, okay. Invites her over to the Z-Man booth.
Heck yeah.
For a Facebook video.
Nice, dude. Like he seems like a good guy, but that just proves it.
Yeah.
Where a girl brings over some new baits and he's just like, oh, hey, I got cameras.
Right.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, and a cool platform too, right? Like, I mean, this guy's got to have.
Right. Exactly.
You recognize him right away.
Like,
she knew who he was. And he's like,
yeah.
Hey, I got a little bit of a Facebook following here. Why don't you come over? I got cameras.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And he's at like the Z-Man booth. Like he's like, I'm a professional, sponsored by Z-Man. Like, he's like, let's go over there and record you something real quick. Like,
right.
And all she was doing is just like, here's some baits. Can you take a peek, and he's like, I'll do you one better. Let's give you a shout out on Facebook.
Right.
Like, that's awesome.
So yeah, they did a video
Yeah.
on his Facebook, which is they didn't say his Facebook, but obviously he's tied to it in some way. So it was either his or Z-Man's or someone's.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, he's got cameras.
Right.
And he invites her over. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Then March 2022, and she's got an invite to go to Z-Man.
Nice.
Like the president is just like, you want to come see what we're doing? You want to come over?
Yeah.
Check it out?
Z-Man is like, when we get into the fishing topic, remind me to bring up Z-Man, because I'm excited about some of the new stuff that they came out with. So it's kind of cool that they got, some of the new stuff, and it's not like it's 100% new to the world.
Okay.
What they're doing, but I do like Z-Man, so I like that they're going in this direction. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yes, that's super cool that Z-Man is just like, come on in. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that's the majority of the fishing community.
Me
like,
too.
If you're putting your heart and soul behind it, and you're willing to, put in that work, a lot of people like it also, not trying to like discredit her, but it's got to help that you're a 16-year-old female lure maker. They're just
right.
like, oh,
right.
This is not ordinary. I need to talk to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have that standout. Yeah. And no, I believe
right.
I'm with you. That is not to discredit her, but like just the drive to do something like that at 12
right.
and 6, like to be 16 and say it at 12 and, start making these moves before you're like, that's just hungry right there. And that's what what people latch onto. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like, it's no secret, it's a predominantly male driven company, and to have her just being like, this is what I want to do,
right? Right.
You'd be silly to not be a lure maker and just be like, we need to talk to this girl,
right?
We need to see.
There's something very unique about her. Not only her drive, but like, she's a female trying to get into like a male dominated space. There's something
almost like just on this pod. Yeah, almost like just on the podcast, like, if it goes nowhere else, I just need to talk to you.
Right.
We just need to have a conversation at the very least.
Right. Yeah.
I need to just be like, how, why,
Yep.
just what's going on here.
Yep.
Because it's very cool to me. Like, the thought of her just being like, I want to, I'm thinking now, I'm like, I've been kind of an artist my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why haven't I gotten to lures?
Yeah.
And I'm having this, like, making lures myself. I mean, like, more regularly. And I'm having this realization, and I'm almost 40, and she's like 12, and just like, this is it.
Right.
Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
I still don't know exactly.
Exactly.
It's super cool to me. Like, anybody that has that drive is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, like, you combine it with my passion and one of yours, and like, it's just like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Sorry to go off on a rant on that, but it's just like,
that's what I was hoping.
I didn't know anything about her, but it's super exciting for me to just be like, yes, like,
yeah.
That's the kind of stuff where I'm just like, oh man, I hope, my son, what do we got? 7 years, all of a sudden he's like, I think I'm going to make lures. And I'm just like, I'm going to buy you balsa wood and a spray gun, like, whatever you need, dude. Like, what are you trying to make it out of?
Yeah. I'm about to get you balsa wood and a whittling knife. Let's go.
Yeah. We're about to get down on some whittling, dude. I'll learn with you. Let's go.
Right. Hell yeah, dude. So yeah, that was the conversation I was really hoping would come out of this. It's like, I do want it. And that also sparked our random take that we're going to be getting into here. And is just dad moments. I was like, hey, you're 5 years in, I'm 2 years in, like, we're fresh dads, but like, there's dad moments I just want to share.
Oh yeah.
Like,
dad moments, good and bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, this isn't like, hey, yeah, my son, he won the fishing tournament, I'm so proud of him. No, this is like,
yeah.
Remember that time they shit out their pants?
Yeah, exactly. And remind me to tell everybody about the oxymoron that made me late for work. Just, like, it's just insanity of like, there's nothing you can do with this, dude. I don't know what to teaser for later. Like,
Fuck
check it
yeah,
out.
dude. I love that. I love that. So, all right, let's wrap up here with Breslin and her breezy bombers, and then we'll get into the housekeeping
I love
and then
that
the fishing
name too.
topic. So
The
yeah,
Breezy Bombers.
breezy bombers. Yeah, check it out. It's pretty good stuff. Actually, I'm gonna buy us some. They're
Damn, dude.
good price. I'm gonna buy us some. Maybe we'll talk about them later on the podcast. Maybe we'll just take them, give them a shot. But her prices are so reasonable. I'm just like, I'm buying them for the podcast. So we're gonna make content out of it one way or another. If this is it, or
Yeah.
if we end up making other content out of it just because we're hyped on it. It's good stuff.
I wonder
as far as what I can see
I wonder
visually.
if she's
right?
the one behind the drawing.
Oh yeah, the logo
her
too. Yeah, the
logo?
logo's hand drawn. Yeah. I don't know.
I
It
just
didn't say with that.
just Googled it.
But
Pretty cool stuff.
yeah, it's pretty neat looking. So anyways, so here's kind of like where the article wraps up. And again, go over to our YouTube channel and you can follow the link to Outdoor News and read this full article. But basically, since she did all this stuff with Brian and Z-Man and stuff like that, she became good friends with Sean Grisby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Big mustache.
Big mustache?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a big old cookie duster on him.
That's great. He has a +1 to ICAST this year, and it's going to be Breslin.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should try to find the video and like tell everybody to go check it out. There's one with Sean Grigsby where he's just like, he thought he caught a beaver or something. It's he just got that like super southern accent. And he starts laughing at himself. He's like, I thought it was a beaver.
Yeah, dude. I want to see that.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. Yeah. That's it for the fishing news. So let's go ahead and jump into housekeeping here. YouTube. We got a short video up. It had some good views. It was fun. I still got to talk to Tim about doing another one because I have some footage sitting that I'm not sure it's a full episode. So I want to make a short into it. So that's for later.
Yeah.
But please keep sharing the YouTube for everybody out there that is doing that. It's doing great. Thanks everybody over on the Apple Podcast situation for hanging around with us. That is really awesome. If you got a friend who's not on Apple Podcasts, let them know that we're on Spotify or Pandora or Amazon. I don't know, stuff like that. That would help us out a great deal. Remember, every other week on Monday, the podcast comes out, full episode. You get all the good stuff. And then Wednesday and Friday are off weeks, only over on YouTube. You can get the topics split up, but you're going to miss out on all that pre-game fun. Like and subscribe. Hello. That's it. I just wanted to end on like a goofy note. Hello. I was watching some basketball stuff before starting the podcast, so I think that's where that came from. So like 90s basketball stuff. So I think that was my NBA Jam roots coming out there.
Nice. Hello.
So this podcast is going to be about the weather opener, how things changed, because we did an entire episode on it already and it flipped. It was crazy. We were so pessimistic before. Now I got to talk to Tim. Fast. We got to talk this out again. It relates so much to that episode. It's like we have to do a follow-up. Then in the random take again, we're going to talk about dad moments, good, bad, all the stuff. We're just doing dad things in the second half.
Dad things.
Yep. So let's go ahead. Let's do it. Time for the fishing topic.
Nice.
So, opener, Tim. Weather. Things are going crazy.
Yes.
Do you want to start with Z-Man or just do that later? Because I think we just got to jump in. Episode 66. This is 68, so it was
Well,
just a couple
yeah.
episodes ago, right?
We'll just jump into it because we can. That the Z-Man thing is just kind of like about what what we got coming,
Yeah.
because of the time of year that we're about to.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Because so for context for everybody, go back and listen to the full episode 66 if you want all of it, because there's too much. I mean, it's like a full hour still of us just talking about the weather, which, by the way,
yeah,
that is Lawrence.
Heck yeah.
I had to pull that one from YouTube there. That is too good because I think about that every time we talk about the weather, and I was like, I gotta say it.
Nice.
So, anyways, you got to go back to episode 66 and listen to the whole thing. But like, we were still getting snow. The ice was thick as could be. People were still ice fishing a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you look,
yeah, no, go.
So I started doing research about like the different lakes and like what we're looking at and stuff. And there was people a month ago that were saying we are a month out from opener and we're still looking at like 30 inches of ice on certain lakes up north.
What?
They had 30 inches of ice a month ago.
So that is also that helps prove our point even further that we were making in the last episode and why we have to revisit this. We were just like, no, opener? Dude, there's a really good chance up north is still iced over.
So, yeah, there was some good sun, and a big part of it is when it remains above freezing, even into the nighttime.
Oh.
So it's like it's melting around the clock.
Right, of course.
And then when you get to the day and the sun is just like that much more powerful coming into the summer, that's why it gets hot.
Right.
Yeah. Chaminade, which is like middle of the state, not even that high up.
Yeah, I mean, it's north. I think everything north of St. Cloud is north. Like St. Cloud's the dead center and everything north. But I get what you mean in the grand scheme of things because there are so many bigger destination lakes further north of Chaminade.
Farther up north, yeah.
So that's is that where your baseline is for what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, because Chaminade's like not even quite an hour north of St. Cloud, so we're not that far away from it,
Right.
So that opened, I think it was Tuesday is when the ice went out. Tuesday.
So as the podcast drops, it was like a week ago that thing finally opened up.
Even. Oh yes, as the podcast drops on Monday, it will be like almost a week.
Yeah.
That the ice went out.
But still not a week.
Still not a week. Nope.
And opener's Friday.
It's still
the podcast drops Monday. Opener is Saturday. Technically.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, technically it's Saturday.
Which is like Friday night. The hardcore fishermen will be out there at midnight.
Right. I think I couldn't find that, but I think you're right.
I see people do it all the time. I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'd rather just get up early and go Friday morning instead of just being like, I'm going to be the first one to go out at midnight and fish for walleye. Like I'll get up in the morning. Plus I think unless you've been out on the lakes kind of like scouting and trying to figure out where they are, it's going to be a little bit of a game trying to figure out where they are.
Oh.
Because depending on the lake that you're on, with the water temperatures, if the ice literally just went out, the water temperatures might be cold enough that these fish are still where they were in the winter.
Oh.
Meaning like from where we've learned, kind of together on this podcast, what is going on in ice fishing.
Right.
They might be over these deep water basins still, depending on some of the fish. Some of them might have moved up into their pre-spawn locations, getting ready to move up into spawn.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking like crappies and stuff.
Right.
Or if you're talking walleyes and stuff, if you're on a lake that has creeks and stuff, those fish might be up in those creeks just getting down, and they might have no interest in food. You might throw a bait in front of there and they're just like, can you not see that I got a bitch? in my hood,
Right.
in my crib. I have made a bed, and this lady was nice enough to come and spend a little time in this bed I have created. How dare you come and throw your fake lure up in here? Get out of here, dude.
Just swat it away instead of biting it.
Just tail whip that shit like you're Pokemon and get going, you know?
Get on it.
But, all right. Obviously, I'm being silly, but
But
for real, they're up in there
Yeah.
spawning, and they are not interested in eating when they're spawning for the most part. They are tight-lipped and they do not want to bite when they're spawning because that's not the mission.
Right.
The mission is not to eat. The mission is to procreate.
Right.
So it might be tough. And when they're done, then they do get hungry.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Yep.
They're just like, you know, they can't have a cigarette, so they're like, I need a snack.
Yeah, they go get a
I'm
sandwich.
done.
Everybody knows that.
I get a sandwich, you know? I can't. We just got to get a sandwich. This isn't SpongeBob. There are no fires under the water here. We need to eat. That's our vice. But there's, you know, they might be up in those creeks and stuff, completely away from everybody.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to do anything about it. Or they might be swimming out of those creeks, and then you can just post up in the opening and wait for them to swim out. Like, you know, your literally best bet instead of chasing them might be to just anchor and wait for them to swim past you.
Oh, weird.
You know, so
to think about.
It's
because it's trolling, right? Because that's what you think about when you think about walleye. I mean, so many people are just like, gotta go
like trolling or like, so I'll give you an example. One year we went up to Lake Winnebagosh and we were fishing, and it was a lot like how Chaminade is now. The ice out happened literally the week we went up there.
Yeah.
So it was like the week of fishing openers when the ice out happened. That was like 2013, maybe 10 years ago. Does that sound right? Probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
I like it though.
Anyways,
it's just, that's context, right? Like you just try to give a little more context. I get it. That's why I was waiting.
I'm just trying to think back when to like my mom's cousins owned a resort up there, and then like me and my wife and together. My uncle and everything, like we all went up there, and I was like, when did that happen? I'm like, damn, was that 10 years ago already? Shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we went up there, and just like what I was saying, all these people were posted up at the opening of this like river or creek. I don't know what it even was. A
body of water flowing into the lake.
Exactly. So they were all sitting there, and these people were out there catching monsters, absolute tanks. Everybody was coming back to the campfire after a day of fishing. I shouldn't say everybody. The majority of people were coming back with stories to tell of how they just caught the fish of a lifetime. And I wanted to be that guy. I think I've made reference to this on the podcast before. I wanted to be that guy. And instead we were driving and we were trolling jigs, just kind of like long lining it and jigging like you would fish a jig.
Okay.
But we were just kind of trolling, slowly just pulling our baits along the top of a break. So like we're at the top of this platform, and then it breaks and it goes down because all the fish were up shallow. And we're the ones catching all the eater fish. So the majority of the females are coming out from spawning, and it seems like a number of males already did their thing, or for whatever reason, they're like out in the main part of the lake and we're catching them. So it's like there are fish in different locations. Who knows what the reason is, why them are there, why those are there.
Right.
But we were the people catching the eaters. And then when we went back to the camp that night, like we were jealous of each other. They were all like, oh, I really wanted to have a fish fry. And I'm like, I would give up all of this fish to have one of your trophies. You know? So it's one of those things where it's like, who knows exactly what's going to happen.
And well, the way that it turned too this year, right? Like it's going to be crazy. Obviously, I don't know that you can remember the pattern 10 years ago, but
and because it happened so fast, I'm like, is the water,
Right.
because water temperature plays a huge role in it. Is like
Yeah.
the water going to
Sure.
be warm by next weekend? You know, is the walleye spawn going to be completely over and the crappie spawn are going to be moved up, ready to go? Because
Right.
we have that too. If you go and look at our YouTube videos, that one video we did live
Right.
where I'm out fishing,
Yeah.
I went out literally a week too early.
Right.
None of the crappie had really moved up.
Yep.
That next week, I went out and killed them.
Right.
But the week before that, that's the other video we have up.
Yeah, I was gonna say though. I
That's a
think those
week
are the
apart.
two
Yeah.
well edited fishing. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
right.
one wasn't edited, one was a live video, but it was well produced.
So you have the live video where there's no fish. The week after that, I'm out there slaying crappies, and the only reason I didn't catch my limit is because I ran out of minnows. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so that week made a big difference, and the ice was out plenty before we filmed those videos.
Right.
So now being just a week out, fishing opener being 2 weeks out, it's like, who knows what's going to be happening, you know?
Yeah.
And I saw that you put the moon phases in there. The moon phases,
Yeah, I did.
shouldn't affect the spawning at all, but it may affect their aggressiveness.
Ah.
And the crazy part is,
Mm-hmm.
if you're out there fishing, you can't legally fish for muskies on opener. Muskies are 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Normally like Memorial Day weekend, or actually it might be a full month later.
Yeah, I didn't look up muskies, but I know it's northern and walleye.
Yeah,
because that's
it's
the big deal
northern
here in Minnesota. When
right.
we're talking about opener in Minnesota, again, it's northern and walleye
Yep.
that are the big one. Like they're the same day.
Yeah,
it's opener weekend.
Yep.
We call it.
Yep. And we've said it many times here, always check your regulations and stuff.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, it should be walleye and northern you can keep next weekend. And then actually when this podcast comes out, it'll be this weekend.
Right.
If you're listening to it currently, it'll be, you can keep
coming.
walleye and pike this weekend.
Yeah.
This coming weekend. Yes.
Yeah. Because opener's on the 13th.
And then, yep. And you can target bass. You can fish for them, but it's catch and release only.
Yep.
Depending on the body of water, again, pay attention to that, because there's certain areas where they're just like, oh, you know, some of the rivers have different stipulations,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the lakes down south you can start fishing earlier, I think.
Yeah.
But some of it doesn't. I check your regulations. I don't want to get into the weeds because I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I know there are some dates that fluctuate depending on where in the state you are.
Yeah.
And then, so to recap, because I got crazy there.
Yeah, good idea.
Northern and pike you can keep this coming weekend. Bass you can target. 2 weeks from now on Memorial Day you can keep bass, and then 2 weeks after that is when you can fish for muskies, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think at one point in time, I think bass and muskie were on the same schedule, and I think they changed that.
So
unless it's just 1 week after. Yeah, unless it's just 1 week after bass is when muskie opens, but I know muskie is later than bass.
Muskie is later than all. Yep. Okay.
Yep. So
yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, let me ask so you said the thing about the down south, right? And they've had different weather. We talked about how they have shallower lakes down there. So they've been, my understanding, I didn't drive down south and find out, is that they've been open for a little while. Like their ice out
for sure
was somewhat average, obviously not totally average, because again, a month ago it was snowing, it was cold, and we were literally asking ourselves if we were going to have anything to, like, I think we were, I didn't go back and listen to it, but I think we were optimistic enough to say like anything in the southern part of the state is going to be open at least, but that's not where people go fishing for walleye, right? Everybody goes to those northern destination lakes to fish their walleye. And we were just like, my God, it's going to impact fucking tourism and like all this other stuff. So there's obviously a spread of when the water's open or when the water is
Yeah.
opening, right? Because of the temperature swings. And because we had those like 2 days of 90, it was like 2 days of 90 and then it got cold again. It actually started freezing overnight again. And now we're finally getting into like the 70s. And I think the winds, because we had a lot of high winds, right? That had to help open up these waters. So
For sure.
where I'm going with all this is, okay, so it's 70s down here in the southern part of the state where I live.
Yeah.
But that doesn't translate up north still. They're still getting pretty cold. So yes, now we have that really heavy, longer days, heavier sun. You can really feel the sun when you go outside.
For sure.
What?
I think you can kind of see it a little bit on me.
Yeah. Now that you do that, now that you point it out.
Still wearing my shades a little bit.
So where I was going with all that, like my end goal of bringing that up was because the ice just came out and we had those ups and downs again in the, leading into it, where like there could have been refreezing even after we had some hot stuff.
Yeah.
That has to be messing the fish up like that. I feel like what you described before, where, the ice was 1 week out from your experience where you went up to the resort and everything. I forget what lake it was already. You just said it a few minutes ago.
Winnebagosh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Winnebago. It's a video game reference for all you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What I'm saying is this, like, it's been so up and down. The winter was so hard. I think opener is going to be tough. Like, I think this weekend coming up here is just going to be be tough. I'm really looking forward to this, to some stories here.
Yep. I definitely think that it could be tough, but you could also figure them out. It's like, it's the game we play.
Yeah, for sure. That is the game of fishing, right?
That's what makes it exciting. You don't know what you're going to get into, and depending on the lake, depending on your water clarity, there's a lot of different factors. Dark water can heat up faster. If you got a couple of dark bottom bays, that sun heats up quick. Mm-hmm. It could be a good, like 5 to 10 degrees warmer in a dark bottom bay that's protected than it is the rest of the lake.
Even getting these 60s, like high 60s and 70s and stuff like that. You get what? How much sun do we get now? We get something like
a lot.
12. It's like 12 hours almost of sunlight already. I think it's maybe not quite that high, but
I think it's more.
You think it's more?
Maybe not a full 12.
Actually, yeah.
I think it's more. I think the sun is rising.
Yeah, and you can
around 7, before 7, and I don't think it sets until like 8 o'clock.
I'm gonna check right now. Well,
I think we're more than 12 hours currently.
Huh?
I'm saying I think it's more than 12 hours currently. So if you get, the majority of your day is sunny, and then you also have,
dude, it is.
Yeah,
because we're still every day is longer now, right, until June.
Yep.
And today, this weekend, the week leading up to, we have from basically 6 o'clock until 8:30 at night, 6 a.m.
Damn, it's
until
8:30
at night. That's 6 o'clock is sunrise. It's prior to 6 o'clock. Actually, it's before 6, but I'm rounding to make it easy. So sun's up before by 6
and a half hours,
and it's down around 8:30.
14 and a half hours of sunlight can mess up that ice pretty quick.
Right. But the weather was so shitty that we weren't even getting good sun. And that was what,
I know, always cloudy, because we kept having, it was like rain or snow constantly still too. So it was it was constant overcast. And then plus going back down to freezing. I think they said that first week in April was like the coldest first week of April on record.
Oh, really?
Like not the coldest one temperature, but like as a whole, so into April, it's still crazy to be like, why is it so damn cold? This is nuts. You know,
Yeah,
like my son's
it was
birthday
nuts.
was at the end of the month, and it was like, whew, finally getting some nice weather. And I think it was only like 55 out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was talking to my wife saying, like, haven't we had, can't you remember every other year that there was like one freak day of like 60s at least in March?
Right.
And we, like, I don't think we even hit 50. It was like, what the hell is going
We
on?
had those 2 freak days where we almost hit 90, and every other day was like below normal. Every other day was
That
below
melted.
average, which is why we were so pessimistic on the last podcast.
Yeah. And because we were like, oh, 90 degrees. Was that in March still, or was that April?
No, that was April. That was
April.
It was 3 weeks ago, basically. It was in between
2
podcasts.
freak days. Yeah, that's right. Those were weird as hell.
They were super weird.
Where everybody, it's just like, this is state. What the hell? We just skipped spring. It's winter and now it's summer.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, back to winter again. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, because it froze again after those. Like, it literally got.
We got like another.
My wife had pulled out the plants. Yeah.
It was like, what is happening?
It was fucking so wild. And that was where, that's where I was going with all this. It's like, there's just been that tied all back to how I kicked that off. Is there so much up and down? I think it's really going to be a hunting game out there. I'm not going to be able to get out. Are you going to be able to get out?
Hopefully, going up.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning,
as we record this,
when the podcast comes out, hopefully we already have all the docs and stuff. But tomorrow, going up as far as we record this, to my parents have like this aerator system thing that's supposed to like keep the ice a little bit thinner, closer to shore, so it doesn't like destroy the shoreline so much.
Yeah.
When the ice starts moving. So we got to go up there and take out that. It's like a series of like pipes and hoses and stuff that just keeps the water moving around the shore.
Yeah.
Got to get all that out. And then once that's out, we put the docks in. So as long as all that goes over smoothly, the boat should be in and ready to go next weekend.
For the next,
my dad's retired.
For opener weekend.
Yep. So as long as the boat and everything is in, like my dad's retired now, he doesn't work. He should just be able to like go up there. My mom works from home, you know. Tell her to just be like, my internet's not working. And like, I don't know.
Yep, for sure.
But they should be able to get the boat in as long as we have, you know, the lift in so they can put the boat on.
Right.
Should be good. The only thing that might stop us is if they can't get the water and stuff on.
The water.
But even still,
you mean in the cabin?
Like for the cabin. Yeah, like if for some reason there's an issue where they can't get the water on, then we won't be able to stay up there.
Right. But you still might be able to fish for the day, and then
I will go fishing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. If even I got to go to the river, there's no way I won't. I can't not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Right. Yeah. So. I love to hear that. You have to be itching after that, because that's what we called it fishing limbo, because we were so stuck. Like, we felt that the winter was too strong, and we didn't even bat an eye at the fact that we didn't get out ice fishing. We were just like, it was so weird. No. It was so cold. The ice wasn't forming right. And then it did. And it was so cold. That's how it did it. It was so wild. I remember us, in the last one again, we were like, we didn't get ice fishing because we don't have a permanent. We don't have a sled. We don't have an ATV. We didn't like.
Even people with permanents didn't get out this year because the weather sucked so much. Nobody put their permanents out there. I drove by so many lakes, and you just never, like, most of the time you drive by and there's like some certain lakes have like a small city, and you just didn't see it this year. It was a weird year.
Yeah, it was.
The ice was shitty straight out the gate because we got so much snow before it froze, and then it was like, it wasn't letting it freeze properly. So there was a lot of reasons that people didn't make it out there. And I haven't been fishing since last fall.
Right.
And if I didn't have Pokemon, I would be going insane right now. But I got something else that's just like, hey, if I can't go fishing, I got terror raids, you know.
I can catch some stuff still.
I got raids to do.
Yep.
They got special events. I got breeding to do, shiny hunting, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Which, dude, by the way, we talked about the AAA video gaming last week. Did
Yep.
I tell you how weird the breeding is in that game?
Oh, I can't. Yes, you did. Yes.
Yes,
Making
I think
sandwiches
I
and
might have
picnics
told
and
you
shit.
off there. You make picnics and then you're just like, you
Yeah. Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna make a sandwich. You guys go breed some eggs over there while I have a tasty peanut butter sandwich.
Yep.
Like, just a weird story. Anyways, sorry. Side
It's
note.
okay. That was funny.
Yes. What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about
Fishing.
you getting out. So you're getting out, and
Yes.
you mentioned the moon phases really quick, and that is where I want to kind of go that direction again, because
Yeah.
briefly you said you're like, I don't think it's going to do too much. So it's full moon the weekend before opener, and the
Okay.
ice has just broke, right? Like
Yeah.
we'll just say in the northern lakes, the ice has just broke the same week of the full moon, and then we're going to be half moon. So it's last quarter. So it's like it's 50-50 basically on opener. What do you think? Is that going to have any effect on it? Is that going to, are they going to move different, do you think? Or I don't fully understand the moon phases either and how they work, but
No,
I've caught it.
I think half moon is kind of shitty.
Mm.
If I remember correctly, like doesn't really have much role in the stuff, but also when you're moon, there's more to it than just the actual phases. It's also when your lunar and solar
Mm-hmm.
timings line up,
Mm-hmm.
those can kind of like amplify stuff even
Oh,
when it's
gotcha.
not great. So it might not be like a full moon, but if your sunrise and moonrise happen to be at the same time, that
Oh.
kind of amplifies it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. Your,
Okay.
sunset, moonset at the same time, moon overhead, moon underfoot. There's all these different things where basically
Okay.
like the moon's on the opposite side of the earth is underfoot.
Yep.
Moon overhead is directly above you.
Mm-hmm.
Noon and moon overhead lining up can be pretty decent, like afternoon fishing. So
Mm-hmm.
there's different factors and stuff like that lining up.
Okay.
So um I wouldn't I wouldn't worry about the moon phases too much. It's
Yeah.
just like the moon phases can help you learn like when peak windows can be,
Ah, gotcha.
where they might actually be going crazy.
Right.
Because like an example that I have of that is one time I was fishing on the Mississippi River, and I fished the there's a spot where I know where there's a bunch of riprap, and riprap is just like a bunch of rocks that they put in. It's just kind of like a man-made um
Whitewater.
structure.
Is it?
Well, not like whitewater. It's like the shoreline is like covered in rocks, so it
Oh,
goes from rocks on the shore
gotcha.
and then like down. It's almost to like stop the water from eroding away the actual shoreline,
Oh, yeah.
because the rocks aren't gonna,
Yep. It'll wear out the
eventually
rocks
they'll
and
get
not
eroded
pull
down,
away
but the
giant chunks of
rocks
dirt.
will, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So that riprap holds, makes a good home for crayfish and bait fish and stuff. So there's always fish there
Uh-huh.
because there's always food.
Right.
I've gone to that place 1,000 times. One time the lunar and the solar lined up, and I no joke caught a fish every single cast for like 20 casts straight.
Jeez.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Where I'm like looking around to like, is anybody else seeing this shit? This is nuts. This is crazy. Every cast, I just go like, nobody else is around though. I'm just talking to myself like, watch this. Another one. See it? Nope, nobody. This is incredible.
And 2 weeks
Yeah,
later, we
so
decided Relay FTV needs to be a thing.
yeah, exactly. Yep. So, and I've fished that spot many times. I've never had that duplicated, and it's because I've never been out there in that exact perfect moon
Yeah.
phase where
Right.
like for whatever reason it was like that just the stars aligned.
Yeah.
The fish were aggressive and ready to eat, and they weren't picky. Sometimes smallies can be moody,
Yep.
where some of them are like turned on, some of them aren't,
Uh-huh.
and you can't really predict it. And that day, every single one of them was ready to smash anything that came past them.
Is that what you're
It was
pulling out? Were
nuts.
smallmouths
Yes,
most of the
smallmouth
time?
every
Or
cast.
every
Yep,
cast? Oh, wow.
every single one. It was nothing but smallmouth. Yep,
Jeez.
yeah,
That
it
must have
was
been
nuts.
fun, dude.
Oh, it was so fun. Yeah, some of them were little, and it's just like, that's a little guy, but still counted. And then you cast, and then you catch another bigger. That's a little bit better. And then you catch, oh, this one's a little bit smaller again. And then you go, oh, that one made up for the last two that were small. Here's a big guy. It was awesome
Yeah, dude.
doing that 20 times in a row. Eventually, you're just like, this is. I don't even know. When do I stop? When do I stop? It's like if I go like 5 casts past and I don't catch anything, eventually it's gonna be like, I knew I should have stopped at 20. It was a hell of a day, 20 fish in a row. Now I'm catching nothing. Oh, damn it.
Should have quit. I was
But yeah,
ahead.
so sometimes the moon phases can make everything great.
Mm-hmm.
Other times it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've been out fishing where they were just like, oh, according to the moon phases, it's gonna be a shitty day. And you do fine.
And you do
You
fine.
catch
Sure.
plenty of fish. Yep. And especially when you're talking spawning and stuff. When you go out on the crappie spawn and you're looking for those crappie, like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? If the crappie, whatever lake you're in, if the crappie are moving up to spawn, just go based off of what those fish are doing and where they're moving and get in front of them and know that the water's cold. So don't try to fish super fast for the most part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't worry about the moon so much right now.
Yeah.
It plays a big role certain times, but there's a lot of other factors that I think are far more important right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's
So
exactly what I was going to ask.
don't worry about the moon phase and trying to hit the moon phase. Like, hit the crappies while they're spawning. You don't have a big window for doing that.
Yeah.
If those walleyes are moving out of that creek and you want to sit in that opening, don't be like, oh, tomorrow looks like a better day, because you might miss your chance to have them all swimming out of the river.
Right.
Whatever your lake is doing, whatever you think you can catch them on, or if you know where the fish are and where they're moving to, do what you can when they're doing that, and don't focus on some of the little shit,
Yeah.
because that's more, I think, later on when the patterns are established.
Uh-huh.
And you can go out and catch them, like, this is where they are, this is what you can do.
Oh,
You might have a better luck if you hit that certain window to do that thing.
right.
But right now it's more really just trying to find the fish, figure out where they are.
Right.
is step one.
Yeah.
Because like we said at the beginning of this, with it super cold,
Yep.
in certain lakes, who knows, maybe they're out deep still.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the fish should be moving shallow. Some of them might be setting up to spawn. Some of them haven't got there yet. They might be in the pre-spawn. It's all about figuring out where the fish are.
Yeah.
Focus on that. Everything else is,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
I'm guessing, so that's your strategy coming up for opener. That's your advice, is like, right now, because of the crazy weather, because of the late ice out, because of all these factors are much more important. Like, focus on that and just
Yep.
cover some water. Go where you think they
I'm-
are. Like,
I'm going.
if you have ice
yep,
fishing knowledge, use that.
Yeah. My tip to you, because I know, depending, obviously, I don't know what you can learn a lot being on your lake, knowing the temperature. If it's colder than what you like the crappie should be spawning at, go shallow for walleye, because they're probably shallow for walleye.
Mm-hmm.
If the water temperature is hitting the areas where the crappie should be spawning, go check out some stuff shallow for spawning. But I think I would start shallow. Just see what's up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any luck. And if you're not seeing anything, depending on what you have the ability of doing, if you have electronics that you can scope out what's going on shallow and you're not seeing anything, you're not catching anything, then go deep. I wouldn't start deep and then move my way shallow. I think
Yeah.
for the most part, the fish should be shallow. So I would start there. And if I don't have any luck, then I'd be like, oh, are they deep? Is that where they are?
Yeah.
I got to go out to find them or
Right.
what? But that's my goal. That's my plan
Yeah.
because I know where the fish are or where they have been because I know this lake pretty well.
Right.
I will be going shallow for walleye and crappie. If the crappie aren't shallow, then I go for walleye. And if the walleye aren't shallow, then I move deep and see if I can find them.
Sure. Yeah.
That's my plan.
That's good plan. Good advice as far as I'm concerned. I know, take that for what it is, but you have a plan, and that's half the battle when it comes out to this. I mean, I think you say it all the time. We say it all the time. We built this podcast on the know what you're doing, research, right? That's what we're trying to do, is just spread the word of if you're new to this, or even if you're not new to this, get some new ideas, or come share the ideas. What the hell? Sure. Go over to YouTube and leave a comment and have a conversation with us. It's one of those situations where everybody, it sounds like, is going to be moving, learning, and needing to cover. And, we're those people that say share that info. Exactly. Everybody will have more fun.
It's like cover some. It comes down to cover some water. Unless you think the fish are covering water, then you stand still.
Ah.
Oh, I feel wise. I also had a little bit to drink. So I'm like, oh, look at this. Confucius say, you move unless the fish move, then you stay still.
That's really good. I think.
But I think it's decent. But if anybody else, like Josh said, if you have any difference of opinion or whatever, this is what fishing is. We're always learning.
Yeah.
We're always evolving.
Adapting.
There's different patterns.
Mm-hmm.
I can be right and you can say something completely different and you can be right as well.
Sure. Yep.
Or we can both be wrong.
Yeah.
That's why there's a sport of people going out to try to who can figure out this lake faster.
Right.
And put enough fish in the lake, a boat, not even faster, but do it consecutively over a number of days, because things can change from day to day.
Yeah.
Can you figure out what changed from the day before? Where did they go? Why aren't they biting?
Yeah.
Or if you didn't do good the first day, how do I, fix it? It's all.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
We're always excited to hear what other people's takes are.
Yeah.
And get a different perspective
for sure
on what you're doing this time of year. Cause maybe it's just a little part. Maybe we do the exact same thing, but there's a very small tweak that you make that makes all the difference.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And
so
the, oh no, I lost it.
Oh no.
Oh man, I'm just gonna have to let it go because no. I got it. Good thing I wrote that down.
Here we go.
So I got it back. So like you said, the little techniques, the little shifts and stuff like that. Does that Z-Man that you brought up before? Does that topic play into that?
Z-Man. Oh, I'm gonna go into
you just did the Macho Man.
Z-Man is just the cream of the crop. But the Z-Man. Oh yeah, Z-Man got into the micros. You know what I'm saying? Bean Gene. It's
He always only talked to Gene. I feel like.
Mean Gene. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. But so the Z-Man got into the micro game, so it's like smaller crappie baits and stuff.
Okay.
And I like the scent that Z-Man uses. Everybody's got their own little different scent and stuff.
Sure.
But the big part,
yeah,
Z-Man has their Elastec baits that are remarkably durable. They're super stretchy, and they can get hit over and over and over again, and they last forever. So the exciting part, about this because some of the other baits that I've used have not been as durable.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what it was that made me not think of this before with other ones. But this one, I was like, the crappies are spawning. They're in the reeds, just kind of like posted up there. And if you put a minnow in their face, eventually they'll eat it.
Mm-hmm.
What if I use these new Z-Man micro baits as a drop shot, which is normally what you use for like bass and stuff.
Okay.
And you can get away with using it for walleye and stuff as well, but it originated as like a bass bait. What if I do a drop shot with a micro bait for crappies? And I was just like, if this works, oh man, oh man. So I'm very excited to try the micro Z-Man baits on a drop shot for crappies.
And you're going to do that on opener? Like you already got the plan in place and it's part of your plan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited. The only problem I could see is that a lot of the spots that I fish for spawning crappies have like downed dead reeds from the year before.
Yeah.
And a drop shot is a weight that goes to the bottom and then the line comes up to a hook. Mm-hmm. And then from that hook, the line goes to your rod. So you're letting the weight sit on the bottom, and then you're just kind of bouncing that bait. You know, if you have like a foot of line, you're just kind of bouncing this bait here, and the hook sits on the bottom. Well, if that weight, did I say hook sits on the bottom? If the weight sits on the bottom,
yep,
that weight might fall between those reeds and make it hard to kind of like, you know, do a little jig and then move it to the next spot. But as long as I use a smaller weight and it comes through those reeds properly without getting hung up and scaring away the fish every time I have to rip free of the reeds.
Right.
It should, in theory, in my head, this is going to be a good day.
Yeah. But I hope so.
It's always just in theory. You get an idea and you're just like, oh man. And then, you know, sometimes you get out there and you're just like, oh, I didn't even think about that shit. Yeah, no, this is never going to work. But in my head, it's working pretty good. Yeah. So we'll see what reality holds. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. That just the idea of it too. They have some like swim paddle tails and Ned rigs. Mm-hmm. So they have micro Ned rigs. From the last episode, I still have a Ned jig here.
Oh,
so Ned jig is like that.
This was one of them that we had to go over pretty quickly because of the fact that like we got long on that topic, and then like jigs are going to be its own little cut. So yeah, okay, it's
exactly
like a football head with a flat top.
Yeah, it was kind of just kind of like a flat, almost like a nail head.
Oh, okay.
You know,
yeah,
or like a. Oh damn it! Now I forget. It doesn't matter. There's a screw name where it has like a rounded off head. I can't remember the name of that screw right now.
Okay.
But it sits like that. Well, they make micro versions of this now.
Okay.
Little tiny jig head, little tiny hook with a little tiny bait. You can micro fish a Ned rig.
Yeah.
So that one will not work in the reeds. That will for sure. You can't put a hook down
because you can't put that hook right in those reeds.
Yeah. But those micro baits putting on that Ned rig, going and fishing for perch and stuff in the summer when you're out in kind of like the open water where you're not dealing with all those weeds and stuff. Yep. That should be a dynamite bait. They have little tiny paddle tails. So it's like a little, I mean, it's a swim bait that's like an inch long.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How do you even make it so awesome. How it can swim? Like, how can it be that small and still have movement?
So that's one of the other things is like, they have some of the other small ones that I've used are like relatively stiff and the tails don't swim that well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would expect.
Like super stretchy, super flimsy. It really moves and it stretches like crazy, dude. Like they're super hard to rip.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Z-Man is like the company that I wanted to make this stuff because I know their durability. That's some of the other stuff where the sunfish will come and grab the tail and just like and then your tail's gone.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen with the Z-Man.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, dude. So you're already ready to go? Like you got it all in the box, ready to go for the weekend?
Yep. Yeah, we've been talking. Me and you were talking a little bit about possibly doing a little bit of a segment if I can get together the dates and figure out stuff beforehand. But talking a little bit about sales and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Shields this last week had a sale on like all Z-Man, all Berkeley, and I'm just like, I'm going to buy all the new Berkeley and Z-Man stuff then. I went and got all of it.
Just got a cart.
Yep, just slapping it off. Walking around telling my wife, like, look for this. Like, this is a weird setup. I don't know what's going, like,
I don't know. But you gotta get
I'm
it.
just like, I'm looking for Berkeley. She's like, there's Berkeley right here. I'm like, there's Berkeley everywhere. Here's the thing. We need to find this Berkeley, because it's just like, you're going to find Berkeley in the crankbait aisle. You're going to find Berkeley in the soft bait aisle. You're going to find Berkeley in the jigs, the bass, the whatever. Right. They're in every aisle.
They're everywhere.
They don't have it sectioned off by manufacturer. They have it sectioned off by like whatever. Type, I don't really know.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out.
Plus, it's like some of this stuff where it's new and popular, it's on end caps. So like, you look around,
Oh, right. Yeah. Of course.
The end cap. So it makes it a little bit hard finding what you want. But we pulled it off and got all the new things that I wanted.
Nice.
At a 20% discount. Not crazy discount, but
that's enough.
I don't like paying full price for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's enough. I just bought something on 10% discount today, and I was like, well, that's kind of worthless. That didn't even cover shipping and tax. Oh, fuck it. It almost covered shipping and tax.
Right.
Okay, cool.
When you calculate it out, it's like I saved 20 cents from going into the store. Hey, that's a win. It's coming straight to my house and I saved 20 cents.
Yeah. Okay. That was it for me on that. I wanted to talk about opener and what your plan is. And that was good. Yeah. I just can't believe the huge shift in weather. And that's why this was a weather topic, is because it's going to be cold weather opener, but the shift that it took. Oh no, there was one more thing, Tim, before we wrap up and go to the random pick. You had on your goals to get out early crappie spawn.
Yeah.
Is this that because the lakes just opened? Like, how could you've gotten out earlier even?
I don't think I can. I think this weekend would have been it, and I'm thinking that next week is going to be the spawn.
Uh-huh.
And this weekend I would have tried to fish if it wasn't like I have to get the docks in to be able to go.
To be able to go for opener. Yeah. So
my parents won't be able to bring up their boat, and my boat's not ready because the snow hasn't been gone for that long. You know, that was another thing where I couldn't even access my boat until the snow was gone. Right. And that's only been a couple of weeks, and I just haven't had a chance to get everything ready because I got the new depth finder. Like I could just go out with my old stuff, everything's still hooked up, but I have to figure out how to hook up the new transducer, depth finder, and all that other good stuff. So I just haven't got around to that with everything else happening in life. My son's birthday and all that other good junk.
Right.
So
takes time. I get it, man. I get it.
There's things that come up, and the snow that kept coming down really fucked stuff up.
Really made it difficult.
Were just like early March when we're in limbo is when I'm going to get everything done. And then we had snow on the ground, a lot of it, till like mid-April. Like, damn it. Screwed up everything.
Oh shit. Yeah, it was unique, I'll say.
Yep.
All right. That's the sound of kids laughing to take us into the random take. Yeah. You ready, Tim? You ready to hit the break and take us?
I'm ready.
Talk a little patreon.com/realaftv and then get over to the random take where we're going to just talk about dad moments. It's a broad topic.
Hell yeah.
For a reason. All right. You ready for the break?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Break time.
Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon. as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to $100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AF TV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize. What kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran on.
A lure. Yes.
Lure. Thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At
Yes.
the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like, if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure, but you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier, where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify, that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AF TV on.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be like, too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes. Yeah, very true. If you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. realaf.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. Welcome to the random take portion of our podcast. We are dads. We're new dads, and we're going to talk about dad moments.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you're seeing this on Friday on YouTube, or listening to it, I guess, on YouTube now, that people can lock their phones and still just listen to YouTube, I guess. Like, that's a thing. Anyways, if you're hearing this or seeing this on YouTube on Friday, we are a podcast that comes out every other Monday, full length. You can find it over on all the podcast feeds and on YouTube too, if you go check the full channel. Just like to throw that in there every once in a while. But Tim, dad stuff. Let's just talk about dad stuff, because
let's talk about it.
Had my first moment of swearing. I had my first moment of swearing. And it wasn't bad. And it's not the first time. But she understands how to use it. And she was.
Nice. Yeah.
It's just damn, so it's not that big of a deal.
Just damn.
But, Damn. Be laughing at daycare. It's going to get worse.
Damn. They just say stuff that's not even in the sentence, right? I'm going to go and get some macaroni and cheese, damn.
Nope, it's not that. It's like, for reals. It started, the first time we heard about it, my sister was watching her. Okay. And she's like, your kid says damn. And I'm like, what? Well, stop saying it around her. And I'm like, I'm not. And she's like, me? Fuck no. I'm not saying damn.
Fuck no, I don't say damn. I say fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And then she said, and she's using it right. And so it was something like she had just ran out of noodles at the Chinese buffet or something like that. And she was like, damn.
Damn.
Then
Damn.
my wife heard it
Damn.
because we were walking through Target and
I love that.
they stopped at a lantern. Like we were just going through, like we were walking through the bike aisle and we were getting like an inner tube or something like that. And then we went, from in Target, it's always the back. The bikes are always in the back. And then I
Mhm.
just was leading us and I was like, come on, let's go. We got things to do after this. So I just pulled up through the camping section and I just kept walking. And I was at the front.
Yeah.
Well, they were still at the back because my daughter had stopped and grabbed a tiny little lantern, like a her size lantern.
Yep.
And she's like playing with it and fidgeting and tried to turn it on. And I hear my wife like click the button and go, okay, the batteries, like it doesn't have any batteries. We can't use it. And we keep walking. And then my wife catches up and she goes, that thing was out of batteries. So she said, oh, battery's dead? Damn. That's what my daughter said.
That's the shit, though. I love that so much. Like, I know some other parents are just like, "Oh, you can't," but I'm just like, "Oh my god!" I would literally, I'm the dad that, like, I would, if I heard that, I'd just be like, "Oh, damn,
Damn.
yes, oh man, that one got me in the feels." I started. Yeah, dude, it can be funny when they use it well. I mean, damn's not that big of a deal, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
It's not.
start.
It is.
My kid, uh, first swear word that he started with was "fuck." So we came out right.
Just
He
came out
said
swinging
shit.
right away.
He said shit a lot too, but that was on accident.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I'd say, and there's a couple of different things where he just said it wrong. So I'd always be like messing with him,
Okay.
like stick. He said dick.
Yep.
Shed. He couldn't say shed. It would come out shit. So we'd be talking about stuff in the backyard, and I'd be like,
Mhm.
just driving past houses, having fun with it. Just be like, "Oh dang, take a peek of that shed." And he'd just be like, "Oh, big shit." Hell yeah, dude, big
Yes.
shit.
Yeah,
Asking
dude.
that too, like looking at my wife and just being like, I'd like pick up a stick. Hey, Becky, what's daddy got? And then Becky would be like, "Daddy got a big dick." I'd look at my wife, just be like, pointing, and she's like, "It's not that big." And I'd just be like, "Shut up, it's big enough." So this
Shut up.
stick is, I can poke the ground with it and I don't have to hunch over. That's a pretty big stick. He's not lying. But no, we started with the word fuck, and it
Oh.
wasn't our doing. It was another little boy at daycare,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that little boy's parents claimed that his uncle had Tourette's,
Yeah,
which is
right.
like, maybe, but I don't believe it.
Right. Yeah.
I think you
Look at the
guys say
stats
it,
of how
and
many people have Tourette's, and then look at the stats of how many people have fucking Tourette's. That makes you go, "Shit, god damn it."
right. Right, exactly. So that little boy taught my son the word fuck, and then he would say it kind of randomly. And I'm like, we'd have to pull him aside and be like, "Dude, that word is not okay. My mom like does not like swearing at all.
Right.
I think she tried to listen to the podcast once and was just like, I can't do this." And I'm just like, "Well, I didn't make it for you. So listen at your own discretion, woman. I say naughty words, but not around you. I am respectful, so
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
different. Podcast is
Right.
different. I don't come into her house swearing up a storm.
Yeah.
But
We just speak openly,
yeah.
and then, yeah, I get it, situational. Because even with the kid, and I don't wanna take you away from yours before I get into that, so I'm gonna stop, yeah.
Oh no, I just have to say, because he was saying that word, and it was like around the age of his I want to say it was his second birthday,
Mhm. 'Kay.
and we had a party at my parents' house, and he had like his cake and he's eating it and he's being all silly and they're doing all this stuff, and it was like about time for everybody to go. And he knows how to say thank you, and we're just like, all right, what do you have to say to everybody? And then like everybody's paying attention, getting quiet, looking at him, and he just goes, fuck. I'm just like, no, dude, no. No, that's damn it. No, we're not trying to show off with the new word you learned at daycare. You say thank
You knew what he
Thank
was
you for
doing, though, dude. You're gonna have the funniest little dude. I know that you already do in some ways, but I'm just saying, like, comedic timing, dude. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah, dude.
he already gets it. He's just gonna keep going with it. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, he's a silly dude, man. He definitely does. He cracked himself up pretty good at supper tonight because he likes to be like, Dad. I go, what? He goes, boys rule and girls drool. And just be like, and then I just play into it all the time. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Look over at my wife and just like, you know what's up. And then
Yeah, right.
my wife is like, kind of like jokingly arguing with him, like, actually, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in this world. And he's like, actually, I think I would be just fine if you weren't. And then she's like, but like if I wasn't here, you wouldn't be born. He's like, but I would come from your tummy. And she's like, exactly my point. And he's like, okay, actually, Mom, I was wrong. And what I meant to say is you're still going to be there, but you drool. and, and then he started laughing his ass off, and Shannon was laughing at me. We were all just laughing our asses off because we're like, dude, all this is so like it's all nonsense, but the way you delivered it was so good.
It's so good.
to bring it back around to just like, you drool. Oh
Yes.
man.
Brought it back.
Oh, brought it back around.
So good. I definitely slip up saying fuck.
Oh yeah,
Not even
dude, it's hard not to.
I say it for sure because the first one she said was fuck, and it was when she was one. She was just learning how to talk, and I was outside trying to get the air conditioner covered. Like I was covering up the air conditioner, and it was cold out, and I have those have the ties, the tie ropes where you can wrench them down.
The ratchet straps.
Ratchet strap. Thank you. So I ratchet strap. I'm trying to ratchet strap it down, and I think what actually happened is I tried to throw them together, and it was cold, so I was like kind of trying to wrap it around, and then ended up having the end with a hook on it, and it kind of hit me in the knuckles a little bit, and I was like, fuck.
Oh,
and she was right there, and then she just little kid, fuck.
Right. Oh, dude. Yeah. They just say
kept going, and I just said nothing. I just did nothing.
You just go, what can you do?
I know.
I've seen so many videos.
I didn't say, don't say that. I didn't say shit.
Right. I've seen so many videos online where like dads slip up saying stuff and the kid repeats it. And there's one where they only say, oh shit. So based off of what they're saying, I think it's like an Irish accent, but the dad's trying to like paint the wall and have the daughter help him. And the daughter's just like a little girl. I don't know how old, but the dad's kind of painting and it must drip or whatever. You can't really see it in the video, but the dad just goes, oh shit. And then the little girl goes, oh shit. her little like Irish accent. Oh shit. Like, I love it. I can watch it like a million times in a row. But that's what happens, man. They're little, they just like regurgitate anything you say. So they're just waiting for you to say some shit. And then they say stuff. Dude, I say silly stuff.
Yeah.
And then I forget that I say it. And he remembers it word for word.
It's in the moment reaction, just like silly thing, right?
Right, exactly. I'm just always trying to be silly. I'm always trying to get him to laugh. Like that's my goal.
Yeah.
it's who I am. It's what I do with everybody. And
Right.
my son is like number one. Like
Mhm.
making him laugh is better than making anyone else laugh, you know? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
that's number one.
Mhm.
So the other day at daycare, he was like folding up his cot or something, and there was like a pinch point, like they have nap time still,
Yep,
and
yep.
the cot like, dude, pinched his finger good. Like he got a
Yeah.
good like one of those where it like peeled back the skin, you know, whatever that's called, where there's like a
Yep,
flap of skin type of
yep.
cut. So he got it good, and his fingers messed up. So he's putting on his shoes, and he has these new Nikes, dopest Nikes in the world, by the way. They're like these Nike like slip-ons, but they're like tennis shoes. But like
Oh,
around the swoosh is like a freaking, they're blue and orange, and then it has like a octopus that's like wrapping around the swoosh.
oh,
So they're like
hell
made for
yeah.
little kids. It's like this like seascape, but like with the Nike swoosh, they're so
Yeah,
cool.
and I love that they're
But
like a slip-on tennis shoe anyways.
yeah, exactly. So there's like a loop in the front and a loop in the back. So you got to grab both loops and you got to pull it on. But like his pointer finger is the one that got the injury.
Mhm.
So I told him, I'm like, dude, we got to put our shoes on in the morning. Like I'm sitting him down and talking to him. Like we don't have time to mess around. Like, you know, we're trying to explain to him the concept of time. Like we
Yeah,
have to make it to work on time. Like
right.
things need to get done. So you got to put your shoes on. And I know we've been preaching to you, like, get your shoes on now. And sometimes we might say, hey, go put your shoes on. And we forget that you have this owie. So then you got to be like, hey, you porcupines, I still got an owie on my finger. You got to come help me pour this thing out. I was just being silly trying to get him to laugh. It's been
Right.
like 2 weeks since I said that. And he's still like at the bottom of the steps being like, hey, you porcupines, I got an owie. I'm just like, I forgot I said that. Keeps popping up that I said, hey, you porcupines. And he
Right.
keeps
And now
remembering that.
that's
Saying it all
so
sassy
great.
at the bottom of the steps. Hey, you porcupines! Just like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
love it.
What
It
is the
makes your day better
oxymoron that made
too.
you late the one day?
Like the most frustrating thing I've had to deal with so far.
Oh,
So
this is into
it
the frustrating territory already.
it made both me and my wife late because we're both sitting there like I'm like because she leaves a little bit earlier than I do with him and
Okay.
takes him to daycare, and I leave slightly later.
Yep.
And I mean, it's like a 10-minute difference between the two of us, but
Yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
you know? And I work longer days. So I'm like, you take him to daycare, I work a longer day. I feel like it evens out. So
Yep.
that's kind of what it does is like she takes her shower first. I take my shower second. I leave a little bit later because our days start just slightly off from
Just
one
yeah.
another.
Yep.
But, anyways, he has to go poop right before we leave.
Of course.
And he is sitting on the toilet and sitting on the toilet and sitting on the toilet. And we are just like, dude, are you not pooping? And he's like, I can't poop. It won't come out.
Oh God.
And we're like, sometimes it just happens, man. You got to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and try again later.
Yep.
And he's like, but I can't hold it. What do you mean you can't hold it? You just said you can't get it out. So
I see. I see now. I see the oxymoron
yeah.
and how it made
So
you late.
that was the whole argument. He's on the toilet. He cannot get off of the toilet because he cannot hold his poop
'Cause, you
in,
know,
and he can't
and he
poop because it won't come out. And it was just that argument of just like, what do you do in this situation?
You're like,
He
shit, got me,
can't
dude.
poop.
Got me on this one.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
he
saying to your
can't poop
kid?
because he's constipated, and he also can't hold it
Can't hold it.
because in his mind he's got a shit now. I don't
Right.
know.
Yep.
But he can't poop. So
Like,
it's just like I don't even know what we do. Me and Shannon are looking at each other like, oh,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what to do.
What do we do? Like coffee always makes me shit.
I know.
He's
We're going through a constipated phase right now too, and I literally had the same thought. we got this brownie recipe from, and this is totally some dad shit that you go through. These are those weird like, without being a dad, you never find this out. We got this recipe for a black bean brownie. What? What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I bet he would eat that.
Yeah. Totally. You're like, "Oh yeah, beans full of
Yeah.
fiber, farts,
Right.
everything." It also has a little bit of instant coffee in it, and I was like, "Fucking hey, we're not giving our 2-year-old anything with instant coffee in it."
Right.
And then the next day I had that thought of, "She's really gotta take a shit. I wonder if I should give her a little bit of
Yeah.
coffee."
You give her that brownie, and then she's like, "Damn!" Just, oh. Just off the walls, man. You get, like, kids are crazy. The stimulants, man. You give them a little bit of sugar, and they're like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it would be like giving them caffeine.
Yeah. The hype of something new or different, because like Sprite, right? Like even the
Yeah.
hype of getting a pop because it's a special thing just sends a
Yeah.
kid into a frenzy.
Has she
It,
had pop?
yeah, she has Sprite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
My
I
son will
usually get
not do
Sprite now when we go
carbonated.
out to eat because she just
Yeah.
share it with her.
That's cool. My son will not do carbonation. That's the same pop we've
Oh,
tried.
that's what it
Like,
is. It's
here,
carbonation that
because
because I remember you saying he
he's
doesn't do
asked.
pop.
Yeah, because my
Uh-huh.
wife doesn't do caffeine, so we're like, "Yeah, you want to try it?
Right,
Have some of mom. She's got Sprite." She's like, "Yeah, you can
right.
try." And he goes, "Oh, Jesus!" You know, like that carbonation like hits him. He's like, "What the fuck was that?" You know, he's only had
He
like
just
water
hates it.
and juice. Well, he hates it. He's like, "No," and then now he's, he thinks we're tricking him. He's like, "No, you're trying to trick me." I'm like, "No, we're not. That's what we're drinking."
Oh, fuck. Uh, oh, you know what? One thing I wanted to share about with when she started saying "damn." This is the first time because I'm with you on it. Even my wife was like, just okay, can't say that."
Yeah,
Like very casual about it, right? Because we're kind of like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But for the first time ever in my adulthood, I never thought this would happen again because I swear around her. Like just the other day, we are just outside with the neighbors, and I'm just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, man!" And she's out there on her bike and just cruising around, totally paying attention to us. But like, I'm in a conversation. I
yeah.
I hold back, but like it was just the moment and whatever.
Oh yeah.
I felt bad that she was gonna go to daycare and say "damn." Like, I started to have a little bit of anxiety about her going to daycare and saying "damn." I was
Yeah,
I just never thought I would be that guy, and now I'm kind of like, "Shit, she's gonna go to daycare and say "damn," and
yeah,
teach it to somebody." And in my head, I'm like, "Whatever." One part of my brain's
yeah.
like, "Whatever," and then another part of my brain is like, "Man, damn it. She's gonna teach other
Damn,
kids to do that." Like,
damn.
she's gonna say it in front of, daycare, and then they're gonna have to teach her. It's like, I haven't
Yeah,
even caught her yet.
yeah. That's funny.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, that
dude.
was
Some
weird.
of that language you can't help it, man. I've done it. I've
Yeah.
swear to like his face, like been mad,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just like
Like, fucking
I
knock it
can't even
off.
remember what he's like, where he's just doing stuff and he won't stop, and it's just like recently we've been going through this stuff where he's got to brush his teeth, and we had him to the dentist,
Mhm.
and he had a couple of cavities
Mhm.
like between his molars.
Yep.
And they were like, "Oh, it's because, some people have soft teeth, so you might be like prone to it. Plus, like
Yep.
drinking juice and stuff can happen." And we're like, "Okay, I guess." And they're like,
Yep.
"Here's some like special toothpaste
Oh,
that's like a
sure.
little bit, I don't know what the hell it is, but
I
it's
think
like a
there's a little more
prescription
fluoride in it
toothpaste."
because I had this when I was a
Yeah.
kid too.
Okay. So we're supposed to like help him brush with this toothpaste and stuff, and he's making such a big deal about it, and he's fighting every single night and making a big deal about it and just going off and like just not wanting to go potty and just doing everything, like fighting it at night. And it's just
Mhm.
like, you know, I'm like one of the nights I was asking nicely so many times and trying to get him to go to the bathroom to brush his teeth and trying to get everything done. And eventually it was just like, get your ass in the bathroom. And it was like, ah, shit.
After you
Actually,
say
I
it,
could have said
though,
butt. I
right?
could have said butt, but you can't put your head down.
Yep.
You made a mistake, and you just stare into his eyes and be like,
You hold your
yeah, you
fucking
heard.
ground at that point.
I said
right?
ass. I mean business. You don't say that part, but you just like, I
Right.
can't show weakness here.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he's almost just like, dad means business. That was a swear word. Like if you
Right.
say it in random conversation, they'll call you out.
Right.
Or they'll tattle on you. Mom, that said ass. But when you're upset, they're just like, oh fuck. He said,
right.
he swore.
Right.
He swore. I can't. Oh, I gotta get out. That was for real. He is not happy with me.
Right.
Yeah, dude, the swear words and stuff.
That's sometimes what it takes. I know.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta tell you another story.
Yeah.
About his birthday. So he had his birthday party, but for his birthday we went to the Mall of America.
Oh.
So we went to the Mall of America and we were just like, we're just gonna do all sorts of fun stuff. My mom knew that we were going there, so she got like a gift card to Build-A-Bear so we could take him to Build-A-Bear workshop. Yeah. So we started the day, we went to this mirror house. First off, mirror house. Mirror house is nuts. There's a possibility that ghosts are real. We may have saw the souls of 2 children that were trapped in the ghost house. I don't know the mirror house. I don't know for sure. We went in there and we didn't see anybody else go in the mirror house before us, but all of a sudden there's like 2 kids that came out of nowhere and they're just like, we'll show you the way. And we're like, what the fuck are these kids? Like we kind of wanted to try to figure it out ourselves. And they're walking around and my son is just like, oh, maybe we should like split up. And I'm like, no, dude, that's a bad idea in this mirror maze. And the girl is like, we tried that. It didn't work. I was scared to death. I was crying. And then like later, I'm just like, that girl dying here. Is this real?
These little white girls came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they were follow us.
So then they like help us like walk through the whole thing, and I'm just like, well, I can't just like shit on these kids and say no. But they kept like, it was like a movie where because the mirrors, you keep losing people, and then all of a sudden I come around the corner and the kids there like this way, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? So we get to the end and they're like, this is the end. And we go to the outside and we see like the funhouse mirrors. I didn't see the kids exit and I didn't see them go back in, but they said that we could go through as many times as we wanted. So like we exited and then like started again. And we're like, let's see if we can get through without those kids. And we went all the way back through without seeing those kids. There's no parents. It's just those 2 kids. And I never seen them again. And I'm like, are ghosts real? I don't know.
Oh my God.
So that's how we started the day. We went to that mirror thing. Then we went to Build-A-Bear Workshop and made a Pikachu because that's what my son wanted. And he's like, he's already like good head on his shoulders. I'm like, listen, dude, you can get that Pikachu and they got a birthday bear where you only have to pay your birthday age in dollars.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm like, this other birthday bear is only $5. You can get whatever you want plus a birthday bear. And he's like, I just want the Pikachu. I'm like, you don't want 2? And he's like, I got enough stuffies. I only want Pikachu. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I don't need to waste $5 on the second bear. We're getting that Pikachu. So we get the Pikachu. We put like it's got like a Pokemon hoodie.
Yeah, dude.
It's got like some voice box that says Pika Pika, stuff like that. We get to make a birth certificate. We went real creative with the name, and he went with Pika Pika is the name of Pikachu. So that's the name. We got everything situated, left there. That was cool. Went to the Rainforest Cafe for lunch.
Yeah.
Rainforest Cafe is really cool in theme. The food is subpar.
Yep.
So that sucks because the amount of money that you're paying. It was $19 for a cheeseburger with no bacon or nothing. Just a
Oh, just a
cheeseburger was
cheeseburger?
$19.
Oh,
So that, but he enjoyed it. So whatever. It's for his birthday.
yeah,
He
like a
was
moment. Yeah.
excited about where we were at. But even his macaroni and cheese that he got there was like yellow, but the cheese flavor didn't come through. And he was like, I think they forgot the cheese. His words. I
Oh,
think they forgot the
oh
cheese.
shit. A
This
5-year-old
kid,
just says, I think
this
they
kid,
forgot the cheese.
this kid. Yep. This is where this story is going, because I got another thing that he said later in the day. So so we do the Rainforest Cafe, and then we go to Crayola Universes or Crayola World, whatever the hell it's going to be called. And
Yeah.
we try to go there, and they have like different stations and you can do all this stuff. It's just under $30 a person. And all he can talk about is the playground. And we're like, all you want to do is the playground? And he's like, I just want to play. And we're like,
Okay.
we look at each other, we're like, we don't have to spend $90 to go to a playground. And the girl behind the counter very nicely was like, there is a playground in the Nickelodeon universe that's not very much, and he can play there and it's not as expensive. And we're just like, sold. Thank you. So we
Nice.
go down to the Nickelodeon universe, and there is Adventure Bay. Adventure Bay is Paw Patrol. It has, they're all like the McDonald's play style playground things.
Yeah.
There's the tower that all the pups come out of. There's the city hall, and then there was another building. I can't think of it right now. It might have been the guy's like tugboat or whatever. Doesn't matter.
No, yeah. But
But there's
another
all
thing.
these different things to play on. 3 full size like McDonald's play places almost
Damn.
inside of this thing. It's 6 points to do it. 6 points costs you like $7.40 or something like that
Okay.
to get that from the Nickelodeon universe, and it's 20 minutes you
Oh,
get to
okay.
spend in this thing. So we did that twice, spent that
Yeah.
40 minutes of him playing in the playground, and it costed us $14 instead of 90.
$14. Not
Yeah.
even one ticket to get
Yeah.
into the Crayola
And then we
spot.
were like, well, yeah, exactly. And then we got other time. So we're just like, is there anything else you want to do? So we're like buying like points as they come. Like, yeah, you can ride this ride. You can ride that ride. Like he's not big enough to go the full
Yeah.
gamut. Otherwise we probably would have just done the like all day
The
wristband,
wristband thing. Yeah.
did that shit. But so we go and do that. And then when we finished doing all that stuff, we did hit an arcade for a little bit that they had there.
They got
'Cause
some
I
good
like video
arcades in that
games. He likes video
Nickelodeon
games.
spot.
Yeah. So we're hitting up some of that stuff, getting some of the free junk, that I don't think we still played with. It's all at home. We never touched any of that
It's
stuff.
just sitting in the bag that
But-
says Nickelodeon Universe on the floor.
Yep. So we're leaving. And as we're leaving, like there is just a commotion going on in the rotunda. Like everybody's cheering. And we're like, what's going on here? Turns out we're capping off the day with a drag show.
What?
They had a drag show in the rotunda.
No
which I was
way,
just like,
dude.
that's kind of crazy, because like I understand, I'm not judging at all.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do drag, that's fine. But drag also gets pretty sexual at times.
Yeah, for sure.
And
it can.
That's not stuff that you're doing at the rotunda for the most part.
In the middle of the day.
And I would exactly. And the pop that these, I only saw the opener. She was the famous one.
Oh, okay.
Sasha something.
Okay.
And she was like from RuPaul's Drag Race, so
yeah.
people knew who she was.
Mm-hmm. I forget her last name, but I know who it is, actually.
Yeah, so we're going through, and it starts off, and they are like all cheering when they see her for the first time. I see her come out. She's wearing a white hat and a white, like, looks like a snug fitting, like, trench coat style.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all white with like a red wig underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're moving from point A to point B. I see her just coming out, and we're moving from point A to point B. I'm not seeing it. Crowd goes absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like deafening. Like, I've
Like
never heard
where
anybody.
you shiver from like, what the fuck just happened? Sort of situation.
I have been to the rotunda a number of times. I have never heard a pop like this out of anything. I'm just like, this is nuts. What happened? I go out and look. She is now in like an all black, like skin tight thing. Hat is off. Hat and like jacket are laying on the ground. So I'm like, okay, that was some sort of a move to lose a couple of pieces of clothing.
Yep.
That's what got everybody going
Yep.
crazy. As I'm looking to see what's about to happen, somebody on the edge of the stage, like this is planned, grabs the edge of her dress, like down by her thigh. And then she spins towards the end of the catwalk. As she's spinning, takes off the red wig, and there's all this confetti underneath.
What?
And it's like confetti everywhere, and it's like an outfit change into like this sheer skin tight thing.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's wearing nothing. And again, the crowd goes absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And I actually looked at my wife and I was like, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like,
that sounds amazing.
To watch that like outfit change and the confetti goes everywhere. But then she goes back towards the end of the catwalk and gets down on all fours and starts like crawling seductively down the catwalk.
Yeah.
And we're like watching her and we're just like, well, I don't. And then she like stands up and starts talking and we start walking out and we get almost to the parking garage and my literally 5 years old that day son just goes, that was inappropriate. I'm like, dude, you said it. I don't know. Not me. But yeah, like everything was super cool, but the sexualized crawling at the end, yeah, that was a little bit over the top, I think, maybe. For the rotunda at the Mall of America, there's Nickelodeon Universe, there's kids everywhere, there's 4 levels of people watching you.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe just do the thing and not the whole like sexualized crawling, you know?
Maybe that part could have left out.
I bet you money if you did that stuff with just a girl, people would not be as crazy about it, you know?
Yeah.
If you just had like a stripper crawling across the stage, people would just be like, well, this is a little bit much, isn't it?
Did anybody check what time it was? Like that's
yeah. Exactly. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Right.
No, Friday. 3:00 on a Friday.
Oh, on a Friday.
Yeah, we took off work.
Still, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still like.
Yeah, dude, that was another part. We took off Friday and we're driving past and we're like, we're just going to drive past daycare like normal. He didn't know we were going anyplace.
Nice.
We're driving past daycare like normal and we're just like, we'll just see how long it takes him to notice. And then we're driving past daycare and he immediately goes, we're not going to daycare, are we? and I just go, nah, dude, we're going. And then I go, oh, shoot. And there was like a state trooper on the side of the road with his lights on with somebody else. And I just go, don't look at him, dude. Don't make eye contact. Just eyes forward. Just joking around with him.
Yeah.
And then he just, like being the little smart shit that he is, he just goes, I looked at him. And I just go, you did? You did? And he goes, yeah. And I goes, dude, that's it. We got to run. And immediately after that, I get on to the interstate and I punch it. I go,
just so happened to be right.
That's where we were planning. That's where we were going anyways. It just happened to be right there.
Yes.
So we get onto the interstate and I just punch it. And I do, we got to run from the cops. And he's like, what? And I go, boom. And I got a Dodge Ram. So like almost 400 horses.
Right.
It sounds pretty mean when you punch it. Boom.
Yep.
And he's just like, oh! And he's like, what? Really? What? He was so amped, dude. Like hearing the motor rev and just like, what is happening? Really? We're running from the fucking cops. But he was like not scared at all. He was all amped.
He was in. He was
giant
like,
smile, like I can't believe
we're actually doing it.
Then we got a little bit later
I love
in
it.
the drive. We explained everything, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, in the
It was
moment though, you just let that
it
hang,
was
right?
the whole day was pretty good. It was fun.
That's awesome, dude. Oh,
Oh
shit.
yeah.
All right. Well, we better wrap it up. We're getting long on the topic. That was a great topic. We're gonna do more dad stuff. That's so fun.
Dad stuff. It's a blast.
So let's just ask the one thing. Subscribe. Go over to YouTube. Subscribe.
Yep.
We already talked about Patreon in the middle. Not gonna go with that. Just go over to YouTube. Give us the subscribe. You got a Google account. You got a YouTube account. Just that's a freebie for us. Helps us climb up that YouTube algorithm. It would be great to see more of our stuff up there. If you're watching fishing stuff or outdoor stuff, hopefully the algorithm starts to, connect the dots and feed this up to your friends who are doing the same. If you haven't shared it already, I'm not going to drag it on. That's it. Tim, you got any closing things here? Closers?
Did you say Patreon?
I said, yeah, we covered the Patreon and, we covered the Patreon in the break. I'm going to keep the closer simple today.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I got. Nope.
Okay. I just wanted to make
Swear
sure.
in front of your kids, see what happens. You little shits.
It's so funny.
No, I got nothing. I think we said everything in the first half about fishing that we need to, and
yeah.
Good luck out there, anglers, if you're able to get on the water, since it's going to be opener.
Yeah.
Before we put out another episode.
Right.
So yeah.
And share it with us too. But if you got opener stuff, hit us up. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. I said I was going to keep it easy.
Have fun. Be safe. That water's cold as shit. You fall overboard. It's a bad time, dude. Do not fall in.
Bad time to be falling in.
Make sure you wear your life jackets while you're moving. Don't be like, I can swim. You cannot when it's this cold.
Yeah.
Wear your life jackets when you're on the move.
You seize up and shit.
You fall overboard. It's a bad time, dude. Do not fall in.
Bad time to be falling in.
Make sure you wear your life jackets while you're moving.